Please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to Omegon 2. Today we're going to be looking at a series of videos. So not one, not two, not three, no, we have quite a few. They're following a recent trend courtesy of Gen Z, because Gen Z have, on social media, been let loose. And this let loose is a freedom everyone is entitled to, of course. With those purchases, i.e. the mouth they open, there is a receipt coming. The receipt coming is courtesy of Gen X. Now, for those who don't know the generational gaps, the boomers end around 1965. Gen X is 65 to 1980. 1980 to 1996, I believe, is the millennials or Gen Y. Gen Z are the dipshits that came after up to 2010, I think. Was it 2012? You know, it doesn't actually matter. Current gen is called Alpha, because we've skipped a whole bunch of letters of the alphabet and decided we're going to call this generation the Alpha generation. That's not a good idea, but you know what? We'll let that slide. They, after all, have plenty of time to either prove us right that they can lead humanity to a brighter tomorrow, or be even more entitled bratty little cunts. Who said that? In the case of Gen Z, what they've done is they've decided to start doing what some of the millennials did with the boomers, and blamed them for things. So they're trying to cancel them for other things. It's quite amusing, really, because each generation handles things very differently. I found that even though my father is right at the end of the boomer generation, he's more Gen X. I'm closer to the beginning of the millennials. I act more like Gen X as well from time to time. It's a weird transition part. There is a level of entitlement that comes from my generation, and I don't find it remotely acceptable. My dad has a no F's given attitude. If you've seen Not Worth a Cork, episode number 9 for this year, the port cask whiskey episode, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because he was on that stream. I'll link it down below if you're interested, by the way. Anyway, Gen Z have gone after Gen X, and Gen X have decided, well then, that's a brave move, and I want to show you some of the differing responses to these call-outs. We'll start with a few of the Gen Zs.
Gen X is the worst generation.
Shut up. They can hear you. Because Gen X will literally strangle us in our sleep and not bat an eye. Knock it the fuck off.
Now, we all know on social media the reason we make these kinds of videos is because we like to blame others for things that bother us. Blame is considered cathartic. I find it to be less a problem solver to find a way of getting beyond the issue, but a way of ensuring that the issue remains. This is also bait, the first part. The second part was a fair warning. I have seen a number of videos from that pink-haired creator baiting out Gen X, or thinking that by baiting them out they were either going to ignore it or respond to it, depending on which drove up the interaction more. It's intentionally designed. Here is the response to that from someone from Gen X.
Well, hey there, and I'd like to start off by saying, Gen X appreciates your fealty for your statements. I'm just cleaning up some tools here. Small hammers for small jobs, big hammers for big jobs. But I do have a question about that statement about, Gen X and sleeping and stuff. Is there a reason that you believe that if Gen X is going to do something, that anybody's going to sleep through it? I'm just wondering why you think it's going to be silent, or that someone would be able to sleep through what we're doing. I don't know.
Now, if memory serves, Gen X might be the last generation of parents that beat the crap out of their kids. I might be the only person that thinks that it's possible that this did translate to the millennials, but from what I've observed of millennials, they're a lot softer. And I mean a lot softer. This then translates to Gen Z and the current Alpha generation. When it comes to gauging a response, I don't make it a point to go for those who I know are more likely to smack me. Not because I can't take it, but because you're goading people who are more than happy to drive to your house to slap you. And in a lot of instances, the goading is entirely designed because they believed themselves free of the one thing you can never be free of: consequence. On to video number 2 of somebody yet again trying to goad Gen X.
I am speaking for all the Gen Z on this platform. We are canceling Eminem.
Now, Eminem is old enough to fall within Gen X. Eminem is also uncancelable. How do we know this? Well, he's one of the few hip-hop artists I've bothered to listen to over the years. He tried to do it himself in his own music. Now, he's annoyed a lot of people of late by getting more politically involved. And I have seen a lot of criticism about the death of Slim Shady. I listened to the album about 4 or 5 dozen times. He took craps on everyone. If you want to hyper-focus on the part that offended you because of your political ideology, that speaks volumes about your own fragility, and the fact you went into it looking for that. He's tried to cancel himself and failed. This was debunked by someone who directly responded to that little twink.
I'm sorry to break it to you, but you are not. At all. You know, I have a lot of Gen Zers that follow me, so I don't want to come off rude to the ones who support me. But to the ones like this, please get over yourself. At this point, it's a reach and you guys are just begging for attention. You're not canceling Eminem. Eminem can't even cancel Eminem. He tried. This is new to y'all. I'm 43 years old. I grew up on Eminem. Eminem been saying stuff wild out the mouth since he came out. This ain't nothing new.
As far as I'm concerned, this individual, whose voice is quite frankly pure sex, is absolutely correct. These videos are solely done to bait out a response. To be honest, it's kind of worked. It's created something rather interesting. Whereas my TikTok feed before was either crappy sweet shops or TikTok tat being promoted as some kind of innovative design and unique gadget, or those emotional videos where someone's ripped off someone else's video to put their own AI commentary over the top. Did you know that blah 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 blah? Shut the fuck up, alright? Your content's shit. It's worse than mine. Get over yourselves. Instead of that, my TikTok feed has now instead been filled, and I miss the dog and cat videos, I really do, filled with more Gen X Unite videos and other content like this. I downloaded, in the space of 1 hour, I've just sat scrolling on my phone, 12 videos and about 30 images, because some did that instead with music in the background. This image is one of them, in fact. And I want to go through some more of those videos, because it tickles me.
So how many Gen Xers are from Britain on TikTok? I don't think there's that many. I think most of us are on Facebook. I do go on Facebook sometimes, but I like TikTok better. So if you are a Gen Xer and you are on TikTok and you are from Britain, then follow me, share this, and let's see how many of us there actually are.
Now, there are multiple videos in this style to create community. It is engagement farming. I take no issue with it because I know that if the other content can exist, the did you know if this and blah 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 in this movie with this Easter egg and blah 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 blah, and what this dog did to its owner, oh wow, that crap can exist, then so can engagement farming. Although since I start my videos with, you know, like, share and subscribe, this is no different. And that's not a bad thing, really, is it? Trying to get more people from other generations to use apps like TikTok when FaceCuck still exists, and by the way, since we know Meta's numbers aren't doing so well of late, isn't necessarily a bad thing. A great demonstration of that is that Instagram is the most uninstalled app so far last year and this year. To continue to prove the point with engagement farming, but also to create community, and I should insert, a lot of these videos did get a lot of attention. I just didn't save the accounts, I just saved the videos. I want to show you a few more of these.
Gen X, I need your help. Some of us are on the follow train and some of us are not. We're behind the curve. So what I'm going to ask for you to do is watch this video till the end, like it, comment on it, share it, and repost it. And whoever likes your comment, please go follow them and do the same for them. That way we help them to pull up their followers and the Gen X train just keeps getting stronger.
Now I'm a bit curious with this, because I've seen a number of Gen Z accounts baiting out Gen X to cause this to happen. And I can't tell if they did it thinking that by Gen X going there it'd be more content for them, because Gen X are, like any previous generation, more inclined to say things that don't align with the current generation or the generation that is of a certain age, let's say late teens, early 20s, who are more ideologues, or ideologically driven. That's not to say older people aren't, it just becomes less of a thing. As older people get older, they either become set in their ways or stop caring. Apathy is a preferred mode of operation for the English. Hi, I like it, which is somewhat contradictory. The point is, I'm wondering if with the repeated videos calling out Gen X, the intention was to just bully them for the lols, not thinking they'd get clapped back, or whether they did it because they know now that Gen X are going over there, they get more content from Gen X, or if they're doing it because of that and because, well, we do love a fight, don't we? Gen Z, though, much like the youngest millennials, can't handle much in the way of banter. I've seen far too many delete their account because they get criticism under the guise of hate speech or any other label you want to pigeonhole someone with. Let's continue.
We are Gen X.
Yeah.
We are the generation that people should fear. We were the we were the generation that
Yeah.
grew up without parents.
Yeah.
Hey, go home. Here's a f***ing key.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let anything f***ing happen to that house. I'll be home at this time. Hey, it's summer. Get the f*** out of this house. Go outside. Don't get in trouble. Don't get arrested. Don't get molested. Don't get kidnapped.
I know.
Figure out a place to eat. Maybe some of your parents just went to the grocery store. Maybe get a sandwich over there.
Yep.
Get home when the street lights come on or when it's dark.
This is why I think I get closer to that of Gen X than I am Gen Y, because that is exactly what my childhood was. Except I didn't have a key. I had to climb over the fence to get back in, or climb on top of a fence to climb on top of the extension on the side of the house to climb in through the bathroom window, because that's what my parents did. Figuring out lunch was a case of hunting for berries, not even a joke. And it was arguably more delicious than the food we had because it came from a supermarket called Quick Save. If you remember Quick Save, you understand my pain. Now, of course, I cannot continue this video in good faith without including the millennials, because I saw a random millennials video and thought, yes, I'm going to share it with the class. And I clapped. Why did I ignore my weirdness for a moment? I had to not include the audio. It was bagpipes and then guitar to make them seem like they're tough. Sorry to spoil this one for everyone who doesn't know this already. Millennials are remarkably brittle, very delicate. Snowflakery is quite common, a prevalent problem with the generation, and they are entirely to blame for the entitlement of the more recent generations, whose children are so soft because of overbearing parents who are control freaks that they are less inclined to move out, but insert obligatory excuse of, but inflation and cost of living. Like children need an excuse to not move out. Okay. Continuing!
Right, Gen X. Here's the deal. I'm going to know whether you've watched this video through to the end, and you'll know why later. You either bring your ball and we play the game the whole way through with all the rules, right? Or you take your ball and you fuck off home. Either way, you're either in or you're out. We play and we do the thing right, or you don't. Don't lurk around in the background doing...
The one thing I really love about Gen X is there is a willingness to simply work together. A trait you don't see much in my generation. You don't see it in subsequent generations unless they are networking to clout chase. These guys aren't as interested in that because they all have full-time jobs, they've all paid their mortgages, they've got nice cars, and they don't need to flex or dab on anyone because that's not where they get their worth from. They derive their worth from a lifetime of hard work. When older generations, and many within mine included, look down on those of the younger generation, we look down on them because of how narcissistic they tend to be. How they, the current generations, believe themselves free of a number of types of consequence. But when they receive it, they all bury their head in the sand or go crying to their parents, who will mollycoddle them like there's no tomorrow. And just an FYI, if you are one of those parents, I'm not saying I condone the beating you received as a child, but I am suggesting those parents beat you again.
You Gen Zs have been exiled off this app now, mate. Delete your account and jog on.
Personally, I think everyone should do it anyway, because for the most part, TikTok is a load of crap, says the guy who uses it for whiskey shorts because reasons, and also has an Omegon one that I barely use. I kind of only use it because I like the videos about cats and dogs. I really don't care about much else. I've grown weary of the YouTube one where I still see the fake game ads, which are spam. It's fake, yet you've managed to get some content creators to promote them, which is embarrassing.
Gen X, don't like this video too fast. Tease TikTok a little bit. Give it, well, please like it, but just like, give it a bit of time. Just wanted to say, this whole Gen X train thing has been really cool. And I've seen something that maybe others have picked it up, and it's really cool about Gen X, is that we'll unite. Some people want to get 10,000 followers, others are just on it because we want to have something to, you know, be a part of, and we just come together.
And this is where I can understand why some might say it's cringy, but I understand why. Actually, Gen X comes from an era, and so do some of the millennials, from an era of community. So as we get older and we lose more and more friends, relationships dry up, as it were, we change professions, we move home, social media has provided itself with a new outlet for that familiarity. I remember this when I first started being more present on social media. It's why I cherish my Twitter account, because it took me 9 years to get 10,000 followers. It's why I have a Discord server, and I've had it for about 7 years, I think. Is it 6? You know, it doesn't matter, it's been a while. The same with the YouTube channels as well. You grow communities. And so to an extent, I actually really like that Gen X are getting more involved. Even if it is because Gen Z decided to open their mouths and write a check. The receipt, of course, comes in the form of the potential of an ass whooping.
I've got a message for Gen Z. I think we should start a Gen X mafia.
This message is for Gen X and the millennials. We don't know what you have planned for us and why you're recruiting everyone.
For those Gen Zers out there that don't understand the Gen X rise, let me explain it. The Gen X folks are the toughest people that currently exist in our world today. They are emotionally tough and they are physically tough. Nobody was watching us. And let me tell you, natural consequences are the best way to learn life lessons. They are mad. They've started to get sick of it. We've pushed the Gen X to their limits. Haven't done it yet, but they're starting to. They're rising up and saying, okay, it's time for the smartest generation. And we're fully prepared to see what that generation is going to do.
Okay, that might be a bit cringe even by my standards. But they have points, because they are that generation that came out of war, a byproduct of, well, the boomers. I'm not going to lie, I thoroughly enjoyed going through all of these videos, just playing bits of them, because from time to time I think we need something a bit more uplifting on this platform. And what better than to watch Gen X decide, yo, your TikTok's mine now, bitches. Whether they want creator fund or just the bants, the community, I don't care. The more people involved in social media, the better, and the more that are willing to speak up about what they think is right or wrong, the better. Especially when what we see on social media these days is just clout. It's all for clout. I'm not convinced Gen X is that kind of gen though. Tell me what you think in the comments down below.